I'm very excited to share that this season I've partnered with one of my new favourite brands, Current Body. You may have seen Current Body's LED light therapy masks on social media or in the leading fashion magazine's list of game changers for skin, and with good reason. It is 31% more powerful than other LED masks and has been proven to reduce wrinkles by 24% in just 4 weeks, as well as helping even skin tone, reduce redness, and minimise the appearance of pores. I couldn't believe it either, but this is why it works. The mask uses clinically proven wavelengths, red and near infrared. The red light waves accelerate collagen production within the skin, whilst near infrared wavelengths boost blood circulation, leaving the skin glowing, plump and youthful. You only need to pop it on for 10 minutes, at least 3 to 5 times a week. It is 100% safe, pain-free and hands-free, so you can sit back and watch some telly. Or my guilty secret is I use it as an excuse for a little meditation whilst letting my mask do its job. So if you're ready to invest in your skin's future, head to the link in my Instagram bio and use my discount code StyleDNA for 15% off. Your skin will thank you too. This week, I'm going on a style journey with British-born international visual artist Sophie Tea. Sophie's work is defined by her vibrant use of colour, energetic drips and signature splats. Her work champions inclusivity, self-acceptance, accessibility, and strives to make women feel just a little bit nicer about themselves. Yes to that. Hello and welcome, Sophie.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. It's lovely to meet you and have you here. All very colourful.
Oh, it has to be. I really thought about my outfit today. I was like, God, I'm meeting the Queen. I need to like pull everything together.
How did you decide what to wear today?
Well, I had to do pink, some bit of pink. I mean, you maybe can't see.
Pink is really your signature colour.
It is. And I think the reason for that is just because, I mean, it's girly, but like being a woman is powerful. And also I know that pink really was trending for a bit. And just like cowboy boots, I think I'll continue to follow it when it goes in and out of trend. So yeah, and then what else have I got? I've got this Jean-Paul Gaultier vintage piece.
And where did you pick that up from?
That was from on Brick Lane.
Brilliant.
What else have I got on? I bought this belt last week in a vintage shop in New York. Yeah, cowboy boots.
And the boots are from?
They're from Austin, Texas.
And was it just the most incredible?
Oh my God, you have no idea. Like this shop is called Allen's, and I reckon there was about, I don't know, 10,000 cowboy boots in there, and they were all completely different. It was like the most amazing treasure chest. You have to go. It was just
quite
sensational.
an assault on the senses.
Oh my God. I had like no space. I'd already got charged for extra baggage, honestly, when I got on the plane. And I bought 3 pairs and I was like, I just don't know how I'm going to get these home, but like, I don't care. Like I have to have them.
Were there any vintage ones there?
I mean, they all look vintage and they're really good quality as well. Like I pretty much wear these every day.
That's what I love about cowboy boots.
Yeah.
I mean, some of my favourite ones are about probably older than you are.
That's nice. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, they just last forever, don't they?
They're great. And I love the fact you get a little bit of height, but not too much. They're
Exactly.
super comfortable. I could wear them for 24 hours.
Exactly.
Proper.
Yeah, I have trainers that hurt me more than my cowboy boots.
I love that. Now, you're just fresh off the back of your Send Nude live.
I am at the London Palladium. What the actual hell? I
mean, tell me about that. What was the inspiration?
Okay, so for those of you, I guess, that don't know, I paint naked women, and I've been an artist.
Quite literally.
Yeah, well, actually on them physically,
yes.
Yeah, but also on canvas. And I've been an artist for 10 years, but I've really found my love in the last 5, and that's when I found nude women really and painting them. Typically we do kind of a catwalk show, so we invite people to apply to become nudies, and these are sensational women, all different shapes and sizes and stories and backgrounds, and this time we had 10,000 women apply to walk naked. Oof. At the Palladium, which is wild. There was 2,500 people there. And it was the ultimate celebration of women, like the beauty and the power of women. Like,
But how do you go through the casting process or the selection process?
well, honestly, we weren't expecting that many, were we? Like, I mean, the time before, because we've done 5 of these shows now. The Palladium was definitely like the crescendo.
Which is
Like,
huge.
yeah, it's absolutely massive. And it was different as well because typically we just do a catwalk and then I come on at the end with a mic and like, hi, bye, thank you for coming. But this time it was a stage production. So, I mean, there was a live painting element from me. There was a choir. There was a live model. We did like interviews. I said a bit about my story because, to be honest, I never had the best relationship with my body growing up, which is why I'm so excited to be on this because clothes was such a power for me. Like, and how I used them to gain confidence when I didn't have the best, inner self-belief.
So you go through this selection process. 10,000
Honestly,
to
and when
get
you
down to how many? 100?
50.
50. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, initially it was 25, wasn't it? But like we were saying, like, at the end of it, the girls were like, get off the application. Because I was like, yes. And the girls were like, your pile's like this. For context, you print out that many applications, it goes to here. Oh. Yeah.
And so they've sent pictures in of themselves, nude pictures in of themselves?
They had written their story and provided their Instagram handle. So that's how we stalked them. But yeah, it was more based on story and background and
giving that woman the opportunity to be out there, stark naked, painted by you.
Yeah.
And as a life-transforming moment.
It's kind of become a bit of a thing, yeah. Like, I mean, I really am proud of the work that we do to, like, put these women on this platform to allow them to tell their personal story. Like, it's very much kind of not about me, the day.
Yes,
it's about them.
That's what I noticed, and reading about it, it's just telling these incredibly powerful stories.
Well, they're intimate stories as well, and people and women are just so strong, and they've been through so much. And I know as a young girl, like, I wanted to see myself. I've like got a flat chest. I mean, I've got like a million bras on right now, so like, and I still have an insecurity about it. But I think that if I was able to see someone that looked like me in the media, like, that would have absolutely changed the way I felt about myself, which was like not very nice. And I think that it's just so important for me to like allow these women that look so different to like have this place where they can, share who they are, and then they can help other people on their journey.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely to be applauded. But can I just loop back on, you talking about you not feeling very comfortable in your own skin? Where did that come from?
I think it came from, I mean, I guess like not the opposite sex not being interested in you, and then...
At what age?
I think I was most uncomfortable age 14, 15, 16.
Do you think you were looking at a lot of images of other young women?
Yeah, I mean, in the media, you see this perfect body type, right? And I just wasn't relating to it. And I think I wanted to see bodies like my friends or like my mum's or like mine, and I just wasn't seeing it. So yeah, I think it's just the magazines, and it's changed so much now, which I absolutely love. And I think young people nowadays have somewhat of a harder time growing up because of the social media, but by the same standard, like, there's actually so many beautiful accounts that you can follow that can really help you with your own journey. So yeah, and I love the fact that it's changing, and to be part of that movement, like, is important to me.
What was the catalyst, would you say, of you coming to terms with your body and loving it?
Honestly, I don't think I've arrived. I think it's something that you need reminding of. I go through periods when I see a nudie and they're expressing how much they love themselves. It allows me to like feel the same. But
because they may not be what is perceived to be the perfect body, or...
Well, I guess that it's like I see an inner confidence in people, and there's always going to be someone prettier, someone more successful, someone that has more money. But it's like, it's when you see people being completely authentic and loving themselves and accepting themselves for literally who they are, warts and all, like those reminders, it doesn't matter if they don't actually look like you, that helps you with your own confidence. I guess the point where I mean, it's hearing from other women, and this is what I'm actually most proud of, this like community that, you know, I've built, which are the nudies. It's like, you know, WhatsApp chats with them. But we've had 6 generations of nudies now, and they're all chatting all the time, and seeing them making friends and still discussing how they feel, and seeing them go through the stages of life. Like, I mean, one of the women that walked naked on the stage for me a month ago has just had her baby. That's now in the chat, you know, her body's going to change, she's going to go on a journey, but yet there's a sisterhood of all these girls together being like, you know, go you. And I just love creating spaces like that. Yeah.
I think it sounds really, really commendable, because we're all on journeys with our bodies.
100%. And it changes every day. Yep. Like, let's be honest, there's no like moment that you're like, yeah, I love myself now, because the next day, you know, even coming in the lift up then, I was like, oh my God, the light of the lift. I was like, Sophie, this is what you're all about. Like, come on. Like, you know, and we need those reminders. And
so is the nudie thing gonna explode even bigger? I mean, you know, is there going to be a Wembley Stadium moment?
I mean, I hope so. I've got a taste for it now. Honestly, before I went on the stage, I could not believe how I've never experienced nerves like that before. I've never actually spoken in public before, weirdly, and then I've just signed up for this, which everyone was like, what are you doing, so? But that's fine. But honestly, I went into a state of shock. Like, I went really cold.
Yeah, that's proper shock.
And I couldn't, like, I remember Alex came in. She's like, all my team had got me a Send Nudes cake, and I was getting my hair curled. And I remember them all coming in. I was like this, thank you. I just couldn't move, and I had to be on stage in like 10 minutes.
And so take me to behind the stage scenes. You're physically painting with your team.
So this time, in fact, that was the plan, but I didn't actually paint any of the women this time, because it was such a busy day in the end, and I was just in rehearsals the whole time.
And were you directing your team?
Yes. So what we do is we assign each nudie a colour based on their story. Obviously, colour is very important.
And
colour
skin
theory.
tones.
Yeah. And also, actually, on the day, we were very open, because some of the girls, I mean, one of the girls, Naomi, has a Caribbean heritage, and she was like, I just want yellow and green and black. And we were like, no worries. Like, you know, they would just play with it.
Because she wanted the sort of Jamaican.
Yeah, the Jamaican.
Oh, how fantastic.
Honestly, it was...
And you just went with it.
Yeah.
And how many people were actually painting? How many of your team were?
So we had about 12 people painting, and they were past nudies as well. And we always make sure that happens, because, you know, they're going through, you know, a very intimate, vulnerable place. And it's nice that someone else that's had that experience before can come back in. We had a mental health officer on the day to make sure that everyone felt fine. Like, honestly, it's just such a movement we've created. And I'm just so hungry to just do it more, because I can see the impact it's having.
When I was doing my research, it just looks like such a celebration of womanhood, femininity, colour.
Yeah.
Just it's a proper celebration.
Yeah.
Visual celebration. Quick question.
Yes.
Intimate. Do they wear little G-strings?
They do. They have,
because they were very well disguised.
They were very well covered. In the past, in my first show, they didn't. But actually we had, and some of them I think didn't want to on the day, because honestly, when they have the paint on, like they just like,
they feel
it's like
dressed.
It's like a switch as well, because they're all in it together, and they just can't wait to get their kit off. Like, we gave them like little slips, and they all had their names embroidered in London Palladium on the back. They were just like, can we take this off? And I'm like, no, because it's the dress rehearsal. The Palladium are going to kill me. Just keep it on for now. But yeah, I think actually legally with the Westminster Council, we weren't allowed
for them not to have.
Yeah. But I mean, I've done show. I mean, my first show was in Shoreditch. We rented, I mentioned this in my speech, but we rented like a place that had a capacity of 50, and I think we rammed like 300 people into this place. And
Health
it like
and safety must have loved you for that.
And you know what? We didn't even use like actual body paint. Like now, where like everything is so well thought. I just was like, yeah, this acrylic paint will work.
Oh my God.
Honestly, I still have nightmares of those girls. They were just sending me on their WhatsApp group, them peeling and stripping all the hair off them in the bath that night. That was like 5 years ago anyway. We wouldn't do that anymore. But like,
no lawsuits.
Yeah, it's been a wild journey, but yeah.
Where to next?
So, I want to do a US tour.
And for the nudies?
For the nudies, yeah.
And why US?
Like talking businessy now, like 30% of our sales go to the US, and I've never really popped up there or optimized that market. It's a bigger market. And also there's just more people.
Yeah.
And I think also I love the US culture. Like I love the fact that they are very accepting of crazy ideas, and I think it'll be well received there.
Yeah. Any particular cities that really appeal?
We're doing 6 cities.
Wow.
Miami, Basel will finish on in December.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I think so. It's a vibe, isn't it? Yeah. And I'd never really get into Basel because, like, I mean, we probably won't go into like my art career that much, but like, I'm like super independent. We've done everything on Instagram. Like, we're not represented by galleries.
Have to say, I really salute you for.
Okay, cool.
Because it's about making art more democratic. And I love that.
I couldn't agree more.
And I love the fact that actually you can buy your art on installments. I mean, great.
Isn't that a genius idea?
No, I love it.
I had that 6 years ago, and honestly, still 90% of our sales are installments. Like because it's normal people. Like our client base is 25 to 55-year-old women that just have normal jobs that actually just want to invest in artwork, but they've otherwise been deterred from doing so because they've gone into a gallery and they had a bad experience because someone looked them up and down. You know what I mean? Like,
now then, tell me, as an artist, you expect your art to become more and more valuable.
Yes.
But then that slightly goes against the sort of democracy.
Yeah, 100%.
So how do you deal with that?
I know this sounds like really big-headed, but I just think I'm going to like rewrite the rule book for it. Like basically, I have that conflict all the time. Like obviously to make something more valuable, you need to like starve the market. I now believe artists have the power because there's different ways to market. So, for example, one avenue is like I'm doing a stage show. That's a way that we can still be accessible, reach mass, but keep the artwork more precious. So there's a split between prints and originals.
Yep.
Our prints, they're still expensive. They're still limited edition, but we do have lots of drops. So they're less of an investment purchase, and this is the thing that all artists do. And then you starve the original market, which we've begun to do. I think I'm super conscious of like, and also I have a chip on my shoulder about like not being accepted to the art world, but also I believe that artists now have the power, but to some degree I still need that high-end prestigious stamp because if we're honest, like I'm just an artist operating on Instagram. I do have my own gallery on Carnaby Street, and that was an important part of that like kind of premium portfolio for me to be able to get that stamp of approval, to be like, oh no, I've got one for my own. But like I still need the high-end art world, and the way we're going about that is I'm creating relationships with more progressive businesses in the art world. For example, there's an auction house that we work with called Tate Ward, and they can sign artwork directly from me. So typically a way that an artist would get an auction, be successful is if they have a good secondary market. So a secondary market is if I sell to Alex and Alex sells to her mate. The Alex selling to her mate would be that secondary sale. And you would know this, but like, I don't know, maybe I'm over explaining it, but that is how you'd know that it's like kind of an investment grade artist to,
because of the desirability
of the secondary market. Yeah. Now, obviously, I have, and not afraid to admit it, flooded that primary market because I'm direct to consumer. I've allowed people to access the artwork in installments.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to have that secondary sale because all of those secondary sales happen at an auction house. Now, how would I get to sell anything through an auction house, because they typically only consign work with galleries? or like buy galleries or private collectors who, you know, have relationships with galleries. So long story short, kind of boring way, this amazing company have allowed me to just like consign the artwork directly, but then also do something interesting with the sale. For example, I locked myself in a box for 24 hours and live streamed the entire thing, did a painting, and then at the end of it was the start of the auction, and then we sold it that way. Or I auctioned off a blank canvas and it sold for £12,000, and then it was a commission. So we're doing these like noteworthy, like stunty things, getting the like stamp of approval from like the high-end art world, but I'm also giving them what they want, which is access to customers, because I know that I have that. So yeah, and I think that will keep changing, and I could talk about this all day all night. I'm fascinated by how that all works, because I think at my core I do want to democratize the industry, because I believe it should be for everyone. How we go about
good for you, because you're really just owning your space, which is fantastic, and it's really inspirational to see. And I'm sure that you have inspired a whole generation of young artists. So chapeau to you.
Good. Okay, cool.
Now, today we're going on a style journey together.
Yes.
So how did you decide what you were going to wear here today?
I really wanted to do a combination of new and old, and I don't know whether I did it right. I think I just love finding things. I love so you enjoy the whole vintage. I enjoy vintage. I enjoy shopping. I would actually go as far as saying it's one of my only hobbies. And I know that's so sad to admit, but like, I'm just like, all I do is work, and all I do is think about my artwork. And then like, I don't really enjoy anything else. I really like the retail therapy is exactly that. But
is it always vintage retail therapy?
No, actually, I do like to have a splurge every now and then, but I always make sure it's like to celebrate a milestone.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in milestone treats.
Exactly.
And so you found this fantastic vintage Gautier.
Isn't it amazing?
It's I love his mesh work.
I know, it's so cool.
So you found that?
I found that in Brick Lane in a shop called Attagirl.
Yep.
Which is fab.
And then you've teamed it with?
I've teamed it with a belt that I saw in a vintage shop last week in New York. This is just a House of CB, High Street, silk skirt, and then obviously my cowboy, I love.
My
turquoise cowboy boots.
Embroidered and rhinestoned cowboy boots. Very cool.
But I just love the stories that go with everything. I'm just such a storyteller. And also, if someone compliments me on an outfit, I'm like, oh my God, like it was a bargain. Or like, oh my God, I found it in this place. You know what I mean? Like I love.
And do you enjoy the whole process of putting your looks together?
Definitely. But I definitely have two sides of me. Like I have the side that's like glam when I come to stuff like this, but then I also have the art side, which I need simplicity. So it's like completely unbranded. It's always white.
I was going to say, what are you painting in?
Always white, oversized.
To start with.
You know, yeah, exactly. And you know, most recently in the last 2 years, I paint with oil now. So, I mean, it used to be fine because acrylic, it's like very poppy color, and you'd get it on you and it dry and it stay in that certain place. You could put it through the wash. Oil continues to spread, so it just becomes a brown, messy, disgusting. So my art clothes used to be cooler, and I used to transition them like tonight.
I was going to say, did you ever?
Yes, I definitely did, and I still have some great pieces that, you know, from my early days. You know, I remember this little white dress, and I actually wore it to the show because it just looks so cute with the splotches of acrylic paint on it and the splats. Not an option now with oil. It's like filthy, like it gets on everything. And
have you ever had any sort of horrible moments with paint on you?
I mean, I've had so many moments. The classic, literally slapstick comedy moments where I'm like looking at the paint, I'm squeezing it, I'm like, why isn't it coming out? No. And it just pops and it's like blue oil paint in my eye. Like, and then I'm like, where's the eye wash? And we're like, got this first aid kit in my massive studio in Sydney, and like running across this. Yeah, so many things. I mean, it's all in my mouth. It's all in my. Yeah, actually, someone did a TikTok of me once being like, Sophie is promoting unsafe art practice, which I had to apologise for. But
But going back to your childhood, were you very aware of your mother's style growing up?
Oh my God, definitely. Like my mum in the playground, I was so proud that she was my mum. She always looked so put together and so beautiful.
That is so lovely to hear, because so often guests say, oh my God, the school gate was just the worst thing in my life.
No, I watched your Sophie Habu one.
Yeah.
And I heard her say about it because she had a mum's flares or something. Oh my God, I'm the opposite. Like, honestly, I used to be like, that's my mum.
And
like,
what was it about your mum's style?
I think she was just, do you know what I think she did? She always had one piece that was the talking point. And we moved as a kid from Birmingham to Manchester. So I was in a new school and she was obviously in a new place that she had no friends. And I've always, this is something I've maybe taken from her, used an outfit or use an accessory as a way to make a friend, because if people like notice it, come up to you and compliment you, that's your in, that's your warm lead. Like, and I think that she always, like, whether it was a piece, I mean, it was never expensive, like, but it was like something that she found in a charity shop that was unusual, or you know, the way
was there a specific outfit that you remember thinking, oh my God, my mum is just the coolest woman on the planet?
She always had, she's got a great bum, my mum. Like, she always knew how to look good in a good pair of jeans, like, and then she'd pair that with your nice top. But like, yeah, I don't know, she just had a fab big bum. I was looking through I was doing some preparation for this last night, and I was like, oh, what's the time? And I remember I went to my friend's 30th party. This friend is called Natalie Emmanuel, and she is super amazing, and she was on Game of Thrones, and I was invited, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to know no one there, but like, I love this girl and I want to go. And I remember I wore like a jacket, and I've still got it now. It's made out of synthetic hair, coloured hair, and it's like fringing, but with hair. Ooh. It is actually stunning, and I actually don't know whether it's real hair. Actually, I don't know. You should say that. I don't know what hair it is, but it's beautiful. And I remember that night,
and what
left with
hair?
10 friends, all different. It was like ombre, like different rainbow. It goes like, there was a strong aqua, then into like light blues, then light pinks and lilacs and dashes of orange. It was fantastic, like a big rainbow number. And honestly, I still got mates. One of them ended up being a nudie, Poppy. Wow. Yeah, honestly, I've still got friends from that night, and I distinctly remember the outfit.
And do you feel that sort of gave you a confidence to walk into a room where you didn't know anyone?
Yes.
And did anyone come up to you because of what you were wearing and sort of introduce themselves?
Definitely. And I still use that as a tool now, 100%.
And yes, talking tools, how do you decide what to wear in your nudie shows? Because I noticed the last one, you were full on glam, pink sequins, feathers.
Well, what do I decide to wear? I mean, I am always looking online for stuff. Like, it's my hobby. Like, I love looking at clothes. And actually this time I worked with a costume designer, Zoe, and she actually, a year previous, I released a big coffee table book called Send Nudes.
Yes.
And for the launch of that, she made me a dress, made out of the pages of the book. So it was honestly the most stunning thing. Who was it inspired by? It was inspired by like a designer. I'm not sure, but like it was like all the pages were cut out like with a scalloped edge, and it was like layers and fringing, and it had like a high neck which came out like this, and it was tight, and it was all made out of paper.
How beautiful.
And I just love that clothes can tell stories, and they're pieces of art. And honestly, one of my dreams one day is like all my pieces from like the shows will go in like the V&A of like an exhibition.
Well, I was going to ask you, you have such a passion for colour and movement in your brush strokes. To me, that would actually translate really beautifully into print.
Yes.
And as in fabric print.
Yeah.
Have you ever collaborated with a designer on your painting?
Do you know what? I haven't yet, but it's definitely something that's like on my wish list.
Yeah.
But I'm a big believer as well in like waiting for the right project and also the right time in your career to do so. Like, I'm very much in a profile building stage, and I'm not massive yet, and I really want to be the biggest artist in the world, and I want to collaborate with those high-end designers because I aspire to have businesses similar to them, and I love the design work and the intricacy of the of the making process.
Who would be your dream designer to collaborate with?
I love Richard Quinn.
Yeah, brilliant.
And I love Christian Cowan. I actually have a piece that I wore. I had a show at the Waldorf like 3 years ago, and I had this massive. It was a collaboration with him and Annie. Do you know the shop Annie's? It's on Carnaby Street. It's actually 2 doors down from mine, which is absolutely lethal. Like it's so bad. Like, I need to stop spending in there.
Had a good day in the gallery, straight down to Annie's.
Literally, they got my number as well. They're like, Sophie, come in. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. But I wore this massive dress. It was a Christian Cowan, I believe, times Annie collab, and it had a huge bow on it, pink bow. Now, I know I say this thing about vintage and stuff, but I'm quite hard when I wear things. Like I'm always like quite moving around quite a lot. So I actually tend to damage things a lot, which I'm not proud of myself for. And I'm also a messy person, so it always ends up on the floor. Anyway, so this dress got damaged, but Zoe saved the bow and stitched it on the back of a jumpsuit that I wore at this current show when I was live painting. So I love the stories and the blending of them and the repurposing outfits for different things. So,
I mean, you're so much in the public eye. Every second day you're on social media posting and all the rest of it. Do you ever feel the pressure to keep wearing new things, different things?
Pressure, no.
Is it joy?
Joy, honestly.
Great.
Joy. Like
Great.
Finding things, re-wearing things. I know that I had this one pair of silver cowboy boots from Boohoo that I honestly think I wore to every event for 5 years, and my mother was like, "Will you take them boots off?" Like, so yeah, no real pressure, just like a nice. Yeah, it's like an outlet for me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
for you, what's the sexiest look?
Well, I think it's, for me, I kind of know how to dress for my figure now. Like, I think I've got my mum's nice bum. I do have a nice bum, so I like wearing something that's like tight over the bum and like a long skirt and a tight top. Like, that's like, it kind of looks a bit effortless, but like I know that it like plays to my figure. Like, I remember this one dress I thought was sexy at the time. Like, I'd bought this Paco Rabanne piece for a show of mine in Sydney, and you know those ones that the discs. Oh my God, I mean, I don't want to slate them, but they just fall apart.
Is it still in a good enough condition to at least frame?
I know what you mean.
Because that piece is valuable, Sophie.
I know. Unfortunately, it is not, because on the night, my bum poked through it and ripped the entire thing. I was literally looking at the Dropbox folder last night because I was like, oh, what outfits have I had that I can mention on the podcast? And I saw this piece and my ass is completely out. So no, it's not. But I want to use them in artwork. I'm going off here, but I really want to move my nude women into textiles now, like tapestries. I just literally went to a shop.
You would literally take them. Well, I'll let you.
I honestly don't know yet, but like I just went to a fabric shop and like in Miami, it's called Mood Fabrics, and I thought I'd like discovered the next big thing, and apparently it's not. I haven't discovered it. It's on like
amazing.
Honestly,
by the way,
it was insane. Like, and I bought loads of pieces, and my idea is. And I know Tracy Emin did this in her early work. She like went into tapestries. She actually made a tent. And I think it was like, it was called Everyone That I've Ever Slept With or something.
Yeah.
I just love that piece and I love her. So I'm kind of like trying to emulate some of her confessional work slightly. But I don't know. I think I'll get my photo references from my nudies because they are always sending me nudes, which is great. So I'll never have shortage of that. And just like use like maybe pick up areas like the highlights and lowlights and like structure the fabric and like use a sewing machine and embellish it with beads and sequins and ostrich feathers. I don't know, like I'm excited. And also I've got this new place, this new studio, and it's like a live work, which I've told you about before. And I'm a tiny bit concerned about the fumes of my oil paint because I'm sleeping there as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, life is literally about maneuvering what you're doing based on your circumstances. So like, because of that, why don't I just go into textiles? Because it's not toxic. I could just use this opportunity to just play in that, with that type of stuff. So I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'll let you know.
Oh, I can't wait to hear. Because to me, I look at some of your paintings and think, actually, that would make a fantastic rug.
100%. I know. Well, I've got into tufting. Do you know tufting?
Yes.
When they make So I made one in Sydney. We had a big archive sale and it actually sold, but it wasn't even finished off. And I was still like, oh my God, it's going to fall apart on his wall. But that's fine because I know the guy. But it's like, it's so time consuming. Like, oh my God. And I'm like very much a person that like has a crack and then I'll get bored and then I'll go on to something else. So,
But is that why you use, you have a team of people in your studio and you're directing them too, I would imagine?
I don't know how deep you want to get into business, but I had quite a big team helping me like prep the canvases, and I don't know. I think we all go through like.
Did you feel you lost touch with this?
Yeah, I did.
Bit?
Yeah. And also I had, at my height, which was like about a year ago, I had 15 employees. Now, what that means is that you have to create 2 pay bills, and actually, I think I hit honestly a bit of, I think I became slightly more mature and responsible and just thought, Soph, like, is this what you want? Or is this just your ego talking? Yeah. Like, you just want a big team, you want to be a big artist. Like, and actually, I think it was a bit of a period of self-loss, to be honest, because I had to like strip back what I thought that being successful was. And I think now I'm at more of a place that I'm just like, you know what? Like, make for the love of making.
Yeah. So when you're not in front of the camera, which is rarely, I know, but what's stay-at-home Sophie, what's she wearing?
Stay-at-home Sophie is, disgusting. Not showering for like 2 days, not washing my hair for a week. Alex,
That's too much information. What are you wearing? Or not? Oh, or are you nudie at home?
Okay, I'm not nudie at home, no. I've got like really spiky legs, so I I give myself eczema if I have my legs together, so I'm always like very rugged up. I'm a cold person. I like always got lots of layers on.
So favorite layers?
I should not be on this amazing podcast if we are talking about the Sophie at home, because she is not a style icon at all. Like, she is a gremlin. No. It's very much. Yeah, I'm just in scruffs. I'm in scruffs. I live in scruffs if it's in the studio. All white, though, has to be.
Until it's not.
Until it's got paint all over it.
Now, you have been spending a lot of time in Australia. Mm-hmm. So what's Sydney Sophie like?
Sydney Sophie is wholesome. I'm pretty wholesome though here, though.
But is your style different in Sydney?
I have to say, when I first moved there, I was like, why is everyone in Birkenstocks and flowy dresses? And I just became that person. I'm like a sponge. Last year, I was living in Sydney for 4.5 years. And last year alone, I did 8 flights back here, which is so hectic, which is part of the reason why I'm now here, because work's really here. But no, I definitely mold it. It's just so bloody hot there. Like, you can't wear anything else. But
when do you think you really discovered who you were stylistically?
I honestly think I'm still on a journey. I think I don't like this about myself, but I do think I'm influenced quite a lot by my surroundings.
Why don't you like that about yourself?
I think it's an immaturity thing somewhat, and I think hopefully I'll grow out of it. But it's like maybe not feeling good enough, or just always wanting to fit in, I guess. And I think I've got that chip on my shoulder about the art world as well. Like, I always just like want to just like be, part of the group, I guess.
But don't you think that's partly because you're a very visual person, so that you want to fit into the bigger picture?
Yes, I think so. But you know what, the learning that I always have when everyone goes through these like periods of their life where they like lose themselves and they find themselves again, but then the person that they found is actually different because they're 5 years older and they are a different person. Like, I think that the lesson that I always keep learning is like your individuality is the thing that actually is your magic and sets you apart. So I actually, when I find myself again, this clean girl aesthetic that's like very trendy at the moment, I hope that it's going out because I'm just not that girl. But you see it in the shops and you're influenced by it, and and then you see people on social media like doing well with that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to lie and say that I'm like fully like know who I am and know what my style is. I think it's constantly just evolving, and that's honestly okay.
It's great.
It's okay.
And we evolve as human beings.
It's okay,
We shouldn't be wearing what we were wearing 20 years ago.
100%, yeah.
If someone was to describe your style in 3 words, how would you want them to describe you? Or what would you want those 3 words to be?
Eclectic, risky, herself.
Ooh, love that.
I just made that one up. I'm really impressed with that. Thank you. I really don't.
Do you spend much time doing your makeup?
No, I did it in the car on the way here. Like, I hate doing my makeup. I'm just like, I remember I was like, how long have we got? And the guy goes 35 minutes. I'm like, oh, I'm good for another 15. I think I've just done the same thing. I think which is bizarre because I'm so good at painting, but somehow it just doesn't translate to makeup.
But do you think you sort of, by the time you finish painting, you really don't want to start painting this?
Oh my God, absolutely. I mean, I will go, if I do things in projects. So if I'm in my scruff project period where I'm painting, you won't see a scrap of makeup on me for a long time.
Have you ever painted your body?
No, I should do it myself, shouldn't I?
Oh, yes.
I've had this idea, right? And the Met Gala was last night and I saw Tyler with one of my ideas in my head, and no idea is original on your own, so it was probably stolen from someone anyway, but she had sand all over her. So I've had this idea that I want to create do a project called Skins, where it's getting these women nude, but like, I don't know, like drawing like or sticking like beautiful lace on them, or like airbrushing some like beautiful patterns, or like, I mean, recently I covered one of my nudies in like 24 karat gold leaf.
Yes, I saw that.
Like, I love that idea of like using the body as the canvas to.
I mean, when I think of that, I think of Pat McGrath and just what she does. I mean, what an artist.
Oh my God, amazing.
Do you think you've got a style icon?
I put down Carrie from Sex and the City.
Yes, I get that.
Yeah.
Actually, because you are eclectic.
That's nice. Thank you. I think that she's like adventurous with it and daring.
Yeah.
And she always has that one statement piece.
When you feel like you need to be, or you want to be empowered by clothing, what would you reach for? Or are you very much a mood dresser?
I'm such a mood dresser. I'm not a planner at all. Like, everyone in my team is just trying to get me to like plan the next week out. And it's just like, if you wake up in the like, honestly, I think that I am an artist because that's literally the only thing I could possibly do. Like, I think there's so much magic and spontaneity.
Yeah.
And this is why we were discussing before, like that Send Nudes live show, like it was pulled together in a month. It would have been exactly the same outcome if I'd have had a year to do that project, because I wouldn't have started it till the month out anyway. Yeah. In fact, that is actually what happened. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm such a...
So being the spontaneous person that you are you organised within your wardrobe so that you can be spontaneous? Is your wardrobe
I aspire...
tidy?
No, it's awful. I mean, that's my like next thing. I'd like... Because I seem to like always I want like an area that has the basics in, because every outfit that I have always has a basic. I think I always get to a dressing situation and I'm like, I have nothing to wear, but it's not true, because you have so much to wear, but you just have so much rowdy stuff to wear. It needs to be partnered with something that's clean, a basic white tee, with your rowdy skirt. And I think I need to sort that out. Yeah, no, I'm not there yet.
When you're unsure of what you're putting on, who do you most trust in terms of opinion?
Oh, probably my partner. He's got a really good eye. Like, he absolutely has not bought an item of clothing in probably 5 years, but like he always picks out good stuff for me, and they're practical as well. He's got that practical head on him. So he's like, Sophie, when you're going to chuck something like I've got this beautiful like Dion Lee knit, And it's not actually rowdy at all. It's quite chic and like kind of plain. But it's so well made, and he was just spotted that it was just something that was going to look nice, easy to put on, good quality, and yeah, so probably will. And sometimes he's like, "Ooh, you've got too much going on, so take one thing away."
He sounds like the voice of sanity.
Oh, yeah, he is. He's my Spock.
Let's talk about travel for a moment. Do you pay particular? I mean, you travel a lot.
Yeah, I
Do you pay particular attention to your airport look?
Absolutely not. No.
Are you a good packer or a bad packer?
I think my most recent, I'm an aspiring, fantastic packer.
And the reality is, how many cases, Sophie?
Awful. I mean, no. I mean, I only take the one case.
What brand of luggage are you using?
Tesco. I did buy my partner for Christmas a Rimowa case, though. No, a Toomey. A Toomey, yeah.
And if you could buy any luggage in the world, what would it be?
I love Rimowa. I'd love a Rimowa collab.
Sounding like pink Rimowa to me.
Yeah, pink Rimowa. But I just trash everything, and I'm traveling so I just don't. One of the things about cases, you're not like so. If you have a nice case, it just gets ruined.
I'm sort of when you see those videos of what happens,
and they chuck them.
Yeah. You don't really want your luggage nicked. I don't.
Yeah.
I want it to be a little bit invisible.
Well, I've never even thought of that, but yeah, I guess I'm doing that. It's full of like designer clothes, but it's a Tesco bag, so
so you're probably safe.
Yeah.
What, if anything, do you feel you've got an excessive amount of in your wardrobe?
Feathers.
Love that. Guilty secret? Most expensive item of clothing you've ever bought or accessory?
Probably my Rolex, which was stolen.
Ah, right.
Yeah, in my studio.
Oh,
don't. I know, don't.
Let's not go down the stolen Rolex route. Not a good one for me either. When buying an expensive piece, have you ever justified it pounds per wear?
No. Yeah, silly.
And shoes?
Shoes.
Honestly, how many pairs do you own?
I'm not actually weirdly not big on shoes.
Just cowboy boots?
Just cowboy boots.
How many pairs? Total?
10.
Okay.
It's not too bad, is it?
No. Oldest pair of cowboy boots?
10 years.
Be with you for another 10 or so, I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when it comes to sustainable fashion, I know you were saying you think you need a big old clear out.
Yes.
What is your approach to sustainable fashion?
Going to charity shops in posh areas.
Any particular ones that have been?
I mean, I
really
don't want to get. I don't want to gauge it. Oh, where's it? It's in Gloucester Road, but it's the one on the main strip of Gloucester Road, and I bought the most stunning, hand embroidered and beaded silk pink top. And then I had my hair done the other day and I got bleach on it.
Oh, no.
I know, but I've decided that the bleach is in the middle. And this is the great thing about being an artist and having contact
you just embroider over it?
Exactly. We're on the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to add some different beads to it.
And what vintage do you think the top was from?
It was, I think it was 80s. It was a Escada.
Oh, it sounds like 80s Escada. Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's spin on to some quickfire questions. Yeah. What fashion advice would you give your 20-year-old self?
Oh, skinny jeans just don't work for you, Sophie. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Which fashion trend would you most like to see make a comeback?
I have a thing with this is not a quick fire answer, but I have a thing with trends. I like things not to be in trend because then, naturally they go out of trend. When pink was happening because of Valentino last year, I was like, can we just stop this? Because like pink is my brand and it's inevitably going to go out. So
not to mention Barbie.
I know. But I was obsessed with the press looks of Margot Robbie, honestly.
Brilliant. Absolutely.
And also the historical references with them as well. Like, it's all about the story and she just did it so well.
So which fashion or beauty trend would you consign to Room 101?
There's a trend right now. Clean girl aesthetic.
Your last impulse buy?
Fabrics. Lots of them.
Your views on tattoos?
My views on tattoos is that I actually have one. When I was 17 years old, I have a mole on my foot and I had petals put round it. It is disgusting. That is the only tattoo I'll ever have. I was in Faliraki and I was drunk. So my tattoo story is a solid, like, no.
Beauty treatment you couldn't give up?
Botox, although right now I think we're all looking at a mistake.
High end or high street?
High end.
Bling or bear?
Bear.
Minimalism or maximalism?
Maximalism.
Crocs, cute or puke?
Cute.
Sneakers or stilettos?
Sneakers.
Skinnies or boyfriends or wide legs?
Wide leg.
Bodycon or boho?
Boho.
Sports luxe or rock chick?
Rock chick.
Red carpet or relax?
Red carpet.
Trend or style?
Style.
Colour or monochrome?
Colour.
Experimental or uniform?
Experimental.
Cashmere or cotton?
Cashmere.
Hoarder or editor?
Both.
Really?
Hoarder.
Shapewear or sexy lingerie?
Oh, neither.
Tights or stockings?
Tights.
Bikini or one piece?
Bikini.
Beanie or beret?
Beret.
And finally,
Yes.
at the end of the day, what do you or don't you wear in bed?
I wear layers on layers on layers in bed.
You're popular.
So sexy. And yeah, go married.
Sophie, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Fun hour spent together discussing all things style with you and all things art with
I
you.
know, man. Thank you so much. You're amazing. Honestly.
Loved it.
Thank you.
Loved it.